Hi, I'm Meg. I'm a backend developer and I've been working at Codeweavers for almost 3 years.
And I'm Kirsty. I'm a lead front-end software engineer and I've been at Codeweavers coming up on 8 years now.
So, started back in, high school really, took computer science as a GCSE, then took it again at A level. And then in the middle of A level, we had a period of work experience whereby I went to Codeweavers then for a week's worth of work experience. So then when I had a year in industry then for computer science in university, I ended up signing back up for a year in industry then with Codeweavers, and here we are. So.
Very different from my story, where I studied marketing and psychology for my degree at university and went into a marketing agency. But I very quickly found that the part of the marketing that I enjoyed the most was the digital side, doing little email campaigns and microsites. So I took more and more interest in that. When I had to take redundancy from that job, I went freelance and started working for all kinds of different companies and ended up then getting a job self-employed. I was self-employed, got a job full-time for one of the companies I was working for self-employed, which was a little web agency, at that point as an account manager. I then went to, some of my clients would come to me with little requests for changes to their website, and I was like, well, if I put that to my dev team, then that's going to take like a week. I can just make that small change myself. So I started diving into the code more and more to make small changes, to the point that my job became 50-50 between being a front-end developer and an account manager. When unfortunately that company came to an end, I set out to find a new job. I was like, I don't want to be an account manager anymore. I'm not going to apply to be an account manager. I'm going to apply for a dev job. And that brought me to Codeweavers as a junior dev. And as I say, that was 8 years ago. So worked my way up from junior to lead here at Codeweavers. Yes, I guess for me, having been here coming on 8 years now, when I first started, I think I was one of maybe 2 or 3 possibly, like female devs within the company. And obviously over the years, like more and more have joined. I think we're up to quite a few now. And I guess for me, like I've never felt that it's been detrimental, if you like, to
I've
be
never
a female.
noticed the discrepancy at all. Like, I mean, even in a, we've got a lot more female devs now, but even though it's such a drastic difference, I don't really notice it enough for it to ever be an issue at all, really.
No, and obviously it's not held me back within the company in any way. Like, as I said, I've been here 8 years, and through that time I started as a junior and I've worked my way up to a lead, and I think in the same way that any other colleagues have been able to do.
Yeah. I mean, thankfully not. I mean, obviously in other industries that might be a difference, but yeah, thankfully never had the issue.
Yeah, no, not been a noticeable thing in our company, in our work life at all. I know other people have experienced that elsewhere, but certainly at Codeweavers, it seems to very much be on the merit of your work and how you are performing. As I say, like I've had that opportunity to be able to progress within the company in the time I've been here. So.
I mean, that's a nice thing, really. You've sort of got, irregardless of who you are, where you're from, you're in a position where you know that the work that you're doing has, an impact as, how you are rewarded and things like that. That's just a nice feeling overall.
Yeah.
It's always like a sort of an interesting thing because you it's like university, sort of learnt certain languages and some of them aren't even really used anymore. It's like we learnt like Haskell and whatnot back in uni, and that's not really used anymore. Yeah, so it's like knowledge becomes sort of outdated pretty quickly.
But that's what's really exciting, right, in the roles that we do, in that it is changing all the time and there's new stuff to learn and new stuff to explore and experiment with a little bit.